There are no shortcuts to building wealth today. It takes time, effort, sacrifice, and diversification. But today, diversification means something different than it did in the past. You deserve a more secure way to protect and grow your wealth. At Delta Harbour, we take this to heart. Our mission is to help by inviting you to add physical gold and silver to your wealth strategy. Book a free consultation today and let us show you how to protect and grow your wealth through the ownership of physical gold and silver. Let us show you the Delta difference. Hey everybody, welcome once again to Hard Money. Good to have you along on the show today. Darren Long is right there and ready to go. As we have been promoting for the last couple of weeks, this is the Ask Me Anything show. Well, when we say ask me anything, we're talking about, investing in hard assets and precious metals. So we'll keep it to that. And we've had a great response for this one. And why are we doing the Ask Me Anything show? Because at the end of the rainbow, the pot of gold would actually be a pot of silver in this case, a 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint silver bar we are giving away randomly to one of you who have been watching the YouTube videos, Delta Harbour Assets. That's how you get on the YouTube and subscribe to their channel, watch the videos, ask some questions, and you were in the running. That's exactly what this is all culminated to. So we're going to be giving that away before the end of the show. So that doesn't mean you can't subscribe anytime and keep your learn on when it comes to hard assets and precious metals. Other than that, reaching out to Darren, Rob, Roy, the crew, very capable, ready to have a chat with you. 1-888-335-8645, deltaharbor.com, harbor with a U, because it's all about you and the hard assets and expanding that portfolio. So Darren, yeah, we got a ton of stuff. I know you want to do a bit of a recap how the week was as far as gold and silver and that goes. And a little later on the show, we will give away that silver bar to one of your participants. And we're going to get to some of those questions that we've been asking people to ask us as we go on here. So I know you're ready to answer all those. But give us a recap, pal. How was the week?
The week is great. The weather's shaping up. Lots happening outside. Patio season starting, and it's very exciting to know that we're getting business back to business. And for most of you, that means a relaxation, a little R&R, a little bit of a cold drink, maybe some food on a patio somewhere. But for business owners, this is an exciting moment because it really does mark the first time that I think we feel normal about the way we're heading forward, and as normal as can normal be under the circumstances. But the week that was, John, well, first off, welcome to everyone that's now a client and working with our firm, Delta Harbour Assets. We're lucky to have you here and excited for what lies ahead. Many new clients, way bigger than expected turnout this week for these Ask Us Anything questions. Again, we're just a company here in Toronto. And although I've been in the market for a very, very long time, my colleagues have been watching this market for a very, very long time. This is one of those things that you never know is how it's going to turn out. I'm pleased to say we got over 64 questions, participants, questions ranging from all kinds of different things, some things that pertain to silver and gold and a few that didn't, but we answered and tried our best to get to every single person so that they would have a response for their questions outside of the show. But we thought, hey, let's make this a reference show. So our post-production team will throw this up to our YouTube channel when the show is completed. And we'll have some chapter sections in there that you can look at and see for yourself in terms of referencing answers to common questions we get about bullion and Delta. In the week that was, John, silver trading just over $28 an ounce as we tape here on Friday, which is very exciting. We've recaptured that $28 mark. We're going to talk about why as a response to one of the questions that's early here in the show. And gold holding just below 1900, that's US, and those are both spot prices. And we expect big things. Again, we know, as talking for the last few weeks, that holding the 28 level in silver is a very important thing, but also in gold, 1900, those are two key levels mentally, where if we get above those and into new ranges above 1900 in gold and 28 in silver, we're likely to see momentum traders come in and swing the prices higher. And I expect that to happen. I think my colleagues expect that to happen. Analysis is pointing towards it. but I would say not everybody's on the bandwagon altogether. So we'll spend a few moments talking about that throughout the show. But let's get right into this Ask Us Anything. We had a lot of questions, 64 participants. And by the end of this show, John, we're going to give away a 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint Silver Bar, compliments of Delta, to the person that is randomly picked through our Google number generator, which we'll do in the last segment of today's show.
So let's get right to the first question, Darren. Again, anytime you want to reach out outside the show, deltaharbor.com, harbor with a U, 1-888-335-8645. But first question is this, Darren, where do you see the price of gold and silver going, and when do you think we'll hit those targets?
Well, it's a common question, John. It's one of the most common questions we got during this contest, and it's an ongoing debate for sure. You have a portion of the analysts out there, the big wigs, so to speak, of the analysis community, predicting that over the next 10 years, gold could hit as high as $10,000 an ounce. Is it legitimately a price target that we support? Not necessarily, but again, does that mean we don't see prices going much, much higher than they are right now? Not at all. It does, in fact, mean that you can possibly have the price of gold going to 10,000. I know why people talk about it, but there appears to be right now a crunch in supply, in particular in silver, and even to some extent on gold. So a true bull market that we're in, these are the warning signs that you see before prices generally go much, much higher. And it's generally something that we think is measured by participation. So technically speaking, we can say that if we look back historically over the last 100 years or so, there have been, prior to 2002, about 4 major bull markets in precious metals, the last of which some listeners may have participated in back in the 70s. And in each of those particular bull markets, the participation rate, that means the amount or percentage of people exposed to gold and silver on a global basis, either paper or physical, was at a range of 20 to 25%. And that's pretty amazing, all things considered, especially with the fact that we didn't have computers back in the 70s to really access the internet and get as much exposure for those metals as we do now. In those particular bull markets, with the participation rate up near 20 to 25%, there were peaks hit, the last of which in 1980, January of 1980, took the price of silver and gold tremendously higher than they were just 10 years prior to that, with each metal, in silver in particular, climbing over 3,000% in under 10 years, gold over 2,500% in under 10 years. And we expect the same now. No difference now. Global participation rates right now, best estimate, somewhere around 1 to 3%. And that is a best guess estimate, but that's based on data, based on what we know from the Silver Institute, around 1 to 3% exposure. And that's in both paper and physical. So the best is yet to come. We're nowhere near a peak in this particular bull market. And if I was to say right now what I think the price should be, well, I believe the ratio to gold and silver should be closer to its average of around 55 to 1 that we've witnessed during the 2002 to 2021 time period. If it was closer to 55 to 1, it would mean right now that silver should be trading in a range, arguably, of around $34 to $35 per ounce. So it's very undervalued against gold right now. And ultimately, I think if we were to peg a time over the next, let's say, 60 to 72 months, I think the price of gold does migrate towards 5,000 an ounce, while silver migrates towards 150 an ounce. And those are both spot prices in US dollars.
And we appreciate that first question of the show, the Ask Us Anything show today. Over the last couple of weeks, been culminating those questions from the YouTube channel. Delta Harbour Assets is how you subscribe to that show. Ask some questions. And by the end of the show today, we'll be giving away that 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint Silver Bar to one lucky participant who asks those questions. We'll take a short break and get to more questions as we roll on here. In the meantime, 1-888-335-8645. Call Darren, call the guys, have a chat, deltaharbor.com online as well. And we'll continue with Hard Money right here on Sauga 960. Hey, welcome back, Hard Money. John Scholes, Darren Long. Good to have you along for the show, the Ask Us Anything show. At the end of this one, we will be giving away, as mentioned over the last couple of weeks, a 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint Silver Bar as a prize, as a gift to you for logging on to the YouTube channel, subscribing to Delta Harbour Assets, watching the videos, learning at the same time, digesting the information, asking a question, and you'll get some silver at the end of the show. We will randomly draw one of the participants who has asked these questions, Darren. And the phone number, by the way, as we sit here and chat, you can write this down. Call Darren after the show anytime. Have a chat with him or a member of the team about getting these hard assets as part of your portfolio. Moving forward, 1-888-335-8645 is a way to do that. DeltaHarbor.com, Harbor with the U. Next question, pal. Let's roll. Says, Darren, I've been hearing a lot about shortages and huge demand. Can you tell us what the real story is?
Well, listen, the real story is simple. There are two sides to every coin. We know this, and two sides to every story. Where you'll read in some of the hallmark analysts of the industry, the bigwigs, the titans that either have firms themselves or are mining experts or CEOs of mining firms, a lot of them agree there are going to be shortages going forward. Right now, however, and speaking with many of the people myself directly and having access to information from the various mints around the world, it is product driven, John. So in particular, if we look at the last year, we see something similar that occurred in 2008 and 9 when the price of silver and gold happened to drop sporadically over the course of 2008 and 9 and well into the late 2008 stage. It did drop, and we had the financial crisis that was experienced globally, and gold and silver repaired themselves very quickly, among the fastest to do so. But ultimately, at that time, we experienced shortages. There were coin shortages, premiums went much higher. And a lot of that was just because at that particular moment in time, it was deemed as though the price of silver was a little bit undervalued on paper, and people took advantage of it. That being said, right now with the pandemic in place, this is a lot of shortage in terms of people power. There's a lot of shortage in terms of fabrication abilities because there's not enough people to be at the fabricators working at the mints. The mints were shut down. A lot of the hallmark mining firms were shut down. 60% of the mining industry in gold was shut down at one point last year with the pandemic ongoing. So this is getting back to norm at a time when demand has increased. As I said in the last segment, demand overall in the world has gone, let's say, from 1% to somewhere near closer to 3%, which is a doubling of demand, more than a doubling of demand, but still very low in the grand scheme of things. However, mints and fabricators the world over have not been able to get back to any resemblance of norm in terms of getting product out the door. So it would appear as though there are many shortages. Mints call this rationing. Even some of the wholesale distributors call this rationing as well. But ultimately, what we see here is that there is sufficient enough product available. It's just getting it out to market fast enough. So there are some small bar shortages and some types of fabricated bars and coins that will be less available than others. But if you're patient and you're working with a good firm like Delta, should be able to resolve that fairly easily. And that patience always pays off. Our product always comes through, and we're able to get that product there. But I will say this, I think going forward, John, the next 3-4 years, with demand rising, with the expectation of higher demand, there will be more shortages in gold and silver, and it will push the price astronomically higher than what it is right now.
Well, Darren, you started off answering that question with the phrase, there's two sides to every coin. And that kind of leads us to the next question. Again, all these asked through our YouTube channel and subscribing to Delta Harbour Assets for that 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint silver bar coming at the end randomly to someone who's participated. And that is, what is better to buy, bars or coins?
It's a great question. And it's a common question. It was strewn throughout the 64 people who entered the contest. And I think that that's a very simple thing to answer. One, recognize that on the whole, as an average, coins cost more per ounce than bars do. And that is because more work goes into a bar. The cost to produce that coin is often much more than the bar. Not much more, but it is more than the bar. And that additional cost in fabrication is often translated to a higher wholesale purchase price from dealers like us, from the mints around the world. And of course, that translates into higher price for the end user. Now, that being said, this is also juxtaposed with demand. And if you've got two eyes, you can take a look on Google, and if you want to, we'll definitely talk to you. You can call us and ask us about it. But there is some shortages happening in smaller bars and coins right now. So in terms of what's better to buy, bars or coins, if you're looking for the cheapest product, go to bars. If you're specifically looking for coins and you know you want to buy coins and you have a reason for buying coins, then go ahead. I'm talking non-collectibles here. We're talking about bullion coins and bars, and these are non-numismatic or non-collectibles. These are your standard 1 ounce Eagles in the US and 1 ounce Maple Leaf coins here in Canada. So these are generally speaking going to always be and always have been higher in cost than bars. So if it's a cost factor, stick to bars.
Again, reaching out anytime, guys. 1-888-335-8645. We'll rattle through another question here with the remaining minutes or two that we have in this segment. Which is better investment, Darren, gold or silver? What ratio would you suggest?
Great question. We get it asked quite frequently.
Yep.
That is up to the buyer. Our accounts are all self-directed, although we give our expertise on product types and things of that nature. What I can tell you is that if I was to examine the buyer base at Delta, I can give you some foresight on what people are doing. Generally speaking, those closer to retirement that want to have less volatility in the ownership of bullion will generally hold more gold and less silver. Those wanting a higher degree of volatility and thus the possibility over short bursts of a bigger return, because maybe they're not after insurance or they're not after holding silver or gold for as long as the next person, may want to look at silver, but both should be equally considered. I think you start with 50-50. You hear the story of both metals, where they're at, what could potentially be the impetus for prices going higher, and then you adjust accordingly. And a lot of people, John, when they get to retirement, you'll see they'll have an 80-20, 70-30 relationship, gold to silver. The younger they are, if they're starting out in their 30s and just investing in new RSPs or TFSAs, they'll tend to have way more silver, probably tipping the scales the other way on average around 80-20 silver to gold.
So there you go. I'll squeeze this one in quickly because I know this one's a short answer, and thank you for your contributions as well online to the YouTube channel. What about platinum and palladium? Also metals, right?
That's correct. And at one point when we started this whole bull market, platinum was the most expensive priced metal. Both metals have very, very finite supplies like gold and silver. Both smaller markets than silver and gold. Palladium, of course, as of late, has been the highest priced of the four precious metals we deal in, and for good reason. Demand is through the roof due to the auto industry, primarily in the developing countries of China and India, where palladium is used in catalytic converters for pollution protection. And so that's why we've seen huge demand spikes in palladium, price going higher. Both metals are certainly, in terms of supply, controlled by only a couple of countries, predominantly Russia and South Africa. So in terms of wanting to deal in those metals, keep it to a minimum unless you're a risk taker. That's what I always say when it comes to palladium and platinum.
We are whipping through these questions, which is a good thing. Thank you for your contribution over the last couple of weeks. If you've been watching Delta Harbour Assets and subscribing to their YouTube channel, you are now in the running. One of 64 people, actually, that have been gathered together to win that 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint silver bar. So we'll do that before the end of the show. Get back to more of your questions as well. In the meantime, write this down, 1-888-335-8645 to call Darren and his team. Get some information, deltaharbor.com. Harbor with a U is where you want to go. That would be your first step. We'll take a short break. Lots more on the way. This is Hard Money on Sauga 960. Welcome back. Hard Money. Good to have you along again this week. This is the Ask Us Anything segment. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, Darren. And why ask us anything? Because you could get something for it. Quite simply, go to YouTube and search Delta Harbour Assets. Subscribe to the channel anytime, but especially over the last couple of weeks. You've been watching the videos, learning about hard assets, learning about expanding your portfolio. And for doing so, you are now in the running. If you're one of 64 contestants who have contributed a question to Darren and his team to win a 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint silver bar, which is going out the door before the end of the show today. So good on you. Good for asking some questions. We're going to get right back to it here, Darren, and the phone number in between 1-888-335-8645 to reach out, ask more questions when we're not on air, and deltaharbor.com, harbor with you. Here we go. Okay, Darren, are there differences between government mint versus private mint products, or LBMA versus non-LBMA with regards to purity and return on investment? What do you think?
Well, first off, John, purity. Let's deal with that. Only way to test 100% unequivocally if a bar is pure is to have it assayed. That's either a fire assay where you melt a portion of the bar and have it tested scientifically. If you trust the dealer you're working with, they are more than likely going to have what are called LBMA products. What does LBMA stand for? London Bullion Market Association. Of course, London being London, England, and that is one of the oldest standing marketplaces for bullion trading in the world. It's one of the significant centers. The LBMA is an oversight faction, which basically oversees a certain set of criteria, which if a supplier of bullion, a fabricator of bullion, meets or exceeds, they are allowed limited membership to what is called the Good Delivery List. So you'll see Royal Canadian Mint will be on there, American Mint, many of the mints around the world, the British and Australian Perth Mint, and then you'll have product that circulates that's not on that LBMA list. Is there a difference? There is. LBMA product is generally consistent in purity and weight. If I buy non-LBMA product, I may get differences. A 100-ounce bar may mean it is only 99.9 ounces or 99.7 ounces, or maybe over 100 ounces. The truth is that when I'm dealing in product that is not LBMA certified, I tend to want to give a little bit of a wider spread in terms of when a person comes back to sell that product. Generally speaking, we have a simple equation when it comes to selling product. We choose to do spot price. Let's say silver is 28, less 2%. If it is a product that is not LBMA certified and my wholesalers will accept that product, generally speaking, there's more risk there for me as a dealer, for us as a dealer. So I will widen that spread from 2% to anywhere up to 5, 6, 7% to make sure that I'm taking care of our business, because I have to resell that product to somebody. And that is the norm as the industry gets through this. It's a common question, John, and I think it's one that people should be well aware of. And how could they without dealing with good companies like Delta? So that's what we're here to do, educate people on how to buy it and what type of product to buy.
All right, next question from our YouTube subscribers, kind of a two-parter, so I'll give you the first part. First, Darren says, do you sell future contracts or ETFs in gold and silver?
We do not, and I do not believe in them. And I think the follow-up question will give us a little bit of a better answer there.
And that is, which is the better investment, futures, ETFs, or the physical?
Well, I believe certainly that physical is the best investment. And the reason is simple. I do not want any third-party interaction in my ownership of a physical hard asset. Thereby, if I go and buy an ETF, an exchange-traded fund on paper, if I go buy a futures contract, or if I want to buy a mining firm, I'm going to have difficulty either A, holding that physical product, or B, even owning it, because mining stocks mean I do not own any gold or silver. I own the company. If I'm buying an ETF, a paper investment, they make it difficult for me to take ownership of my product. I have to buy it in large amounts, large increments. So even if you trust the company, they're never going to let you inside their vault. They'll never let you see that product. You have to take their word for it. And in terms of futures contracts or options on futures, too risky for me. I don't want to be part of that market at all. I want to hold in my hand, if necessary, my gold and silver, or have it stored in a vault where I can access that, see the product, and know that's mine. There is no third-party interaction whatsoever, third-party risk when you're holding direct bullion in your name, unfettered, and with serial numbers. That is the plain truth of the reason why we like physical over all those paper options.
Again, if you're hearing your question on the show today, that means you participated in the Ask Us Anything segments over the last couple of weeks, and you're in the running for that 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint silver bar simply by going to Delta Harbour Assets on YouTube, subscribing to the channel, and asking these questions. So good on you. You could be walking out of here at the end of today with a nice 10-ounce bar, courtesy of Darren and Rob and Roy and the rest of the gang at Delta Harbour. Next question, and this one's getting more and more popular because a lot of the diehard gold and silver folk are starting to get, they kind of go 1 foot or at least one a year on the whole cryptocurrency thing. So, and a good question in that regard, Darren, is this: do you think it's better to invest in cryptocurrencies or precious metals?
I think it's a really valid question given the popularity of cryptos right now. And I would say this, it's a white paper waiting to happen, John, really, when it comes down to it. I might suggest we pare it down a little more. My feeling is that if we take a peek at the largest crypto in Bitcoin and compare it to, let's say, gold, that it reveals a lot. First off, differences. Gold has about 1/5 the volatility of Bitcoin. Gold carries with it a track record of 5,000 years of history, which Bitcoin does not have, nor do any other currencies that are supposed to be cryptocurrencies. The performance is there. We have a history of performance in all conditions, no matter whether the market is up or down. We have yet to see what cryptocurrencies are going to do when there's a global crisis. We don't know. We hope that they're going to act as a hedge, but we don't know for sure. Cryptos are, we're barely 10 years old, and they've only been alive during monetary regimes. So it's a big difference. Gold, it does not face the same competition risk, as there are really only a couple of things that are similar to gold versus cryptos, like Bitcoin, which faces very stiff competition. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of different types of cryptocurrencies. How do you know which one to choose? There is only one gold. Either you pick it or you don't. It's very simple. Gold can also be purchased pretty much by anyone, anywhere, without too much technological knowledge, whereas cryptos cannot. You need to know what you're doing to buy a crypto, and that's the unfortunate part that I dislike very much about cryptos. Some extol Bitcoin as a portfolio diversifier, but it has so far exhibited higher correlations to equities than gold. As I said, we have no downside in a marketplace to test cryptos against yet. And so we don't know what's going to happen. However, there are some similarities. I don't want to poo-poo on cryptocurrencies altogether. They've made a ton of money, and they're here to stay. They are both finite for the most part. Most cryptos are going to be finite, Bitcoin being one of them, and they can act as hedges against inflation. We are seeing that right now to some extent. Neither can really be diluted either. If I had to say, if the correlation existed, I would suggest it does not at this point any more than it is part of the same mentality that exists when one considers gold as a portfolio diversifier. Otherwise, gold is a far better, in my humble opinion, as a diversifier, and gives more opportunity to most individual investors to add and buy more ounces at what I think is still competitively lower prices, while still making a reasonable average return over a very long period of time. And of course, the last thing is pump and dump. We don't typically see too much in the way of people talking about gold and silver, and even when they do, it doesn't change the price dramatically. If Elon Musk says something about Bitcoin today, tomorrow the price of Bitcoin could lose 30%, could jump 20%. We don't know. I mean, Dogecoin, another example of that. But in the end, my belief, John, is that if you're capable of doing it, you have the disposable income to do it, why not buy both?
We'll take a short break. More questions. In fact, we'll get to another question as it relates to cryptocurrency here after a short break, Darren. In the meantime, the number 1-888-335-8645 at deltaharbor.com online. We'll continue with the Ask Us Anything show, and that 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint Silver bar is going to be given away to one of our question people who submitted on the YouTube channel in just a bit. We'll do that before the end of the show, but we got to take a break, and lots more on the way. Hard Money right here, Sauga 960. Welcome back. This is Hard Money. Darren Long is here. John Scholes hosting along with you. And if you got a chance in the last couple of weeks, as we were promoting it pretty heavily, to go to the YouTube channel, Delta Harbour Assets, hit subscribe, watch some of those YouTube videos, learn a lot. And your questions asked on those YouTube videos have put you into the running for a 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint Silver bar, which Darren will give away before the end of the show today. So thank you for all your contributions, and we waste no time. Pal, we get right back into it. 1-888-335-8645 is the number anytime, and deltaharbor.com. Darren, next question. Want to get one more in here about cryptocurrency. And you talked about the difference between owning crypto and gold and silver, the longevity of both, et cetera, et cetera. But the next question is this: can I buy gold or silver with cryptocurrencies and Delta Harbour?
And the answer is yes. For the major cryptocurrencies, we do have a platform, our bulk bullion program, which is on our website. People can go and look, can be purchased using any type of cryptocurrency of the majors. And by majors, we can talk more about that when a person calls. But yes, you can definitely use your cryptocurrencies to buy physical precious metals through Delta Harbour.
Next question, Darren, is this: why do I pay more than the spot price for gold or silver? Can you explain the fees involved?
Well, it's a good question, John. That's the buying segment, we call it. And understanding this is important because most people come to us and say, price of silver is $28 an ounce. Why are you charging me $40 or $38 or $36? It's a great question, very simple to answer. There are a bunch of components that add up to the final price when you're buying a bar or a coin. Those things are not accounted for in the price you see reported in the news, on a website somewhere, which is the price of silver or gold. This is the active traded spot price coming out of the futures market. And generally speaking, that spot price is a combination of things, but most importantly, the most active futures traded month in that metal, which translates into the spot price. Now, when you go to buy your bar or coin, the final price will have to take into consideration the wholesaler dealer profit margins. We'll have to take into consideration the shipping, insurance, and also now the supply and demand. If there is a very limited supply of a bar, such as a 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint bar, which is in very low supply right now, and yet the demand is rising for small bar purchases, either you have to go to a different supplier, an Asahi, a PAMP, or other type of silver bar, or be patient and pay the higher premium to wait a bit longer for that 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint bar. So what you're paying as an end price can fluctuate year over year. A year ago, we would add about 2 or 3% to a 100-ounce bar plus 80-cent premium from our wholesaler, and you'd get your final price. Now, that same 100-ounce bar is spot plus $5, $4 and change, depending upon the type of bar you're taking. So that changes in accordance with those variables: premiums, shipping, insurance, supply, and demand.
Let's get to another buying question, and this is a nice one to have. It says, why are your prices so low?
I always, it's a double-edged sword to answer that question, John, but in short, we do a pretty good job of sourcing our competitors, and we want to, as part of the Delta difference, be able to boast that we can offer lower prices. In some cases, it might be very similar. In some cases, our product might be even the same price as our competitors. But for the most part, when we're talking about the largest companies in Canada, we are competitive, and we generally come in under their prices. People love it, but we're still a brand that's getting out there. So if you're hearing this, share it. If you're a bullion buyer, share that information. I'll bet you I can beat anyone out there on any type of product that we offer that's similar to theirs.
Best part of the show so far is that everybody's learning something with these questions, because thousands of people have the same ones for sure every week. Reaching out in between is 1-888-335-8645 and deltaharbor.com. Next one, and I love this question. Again, so many people want to know this. Darren says, do I pay taxes on gold and silver when I buy them, while I own them, and or when I go to sell them?
All right, it's a great question, and it's certainly not that hard to answer. If it's direct purchase, let's deal with that. You buy, let's say, 10 ounces of gold or silver, and you take it home with you. At the point of purchase, there is no tax, no HST, no GST, no tax, no nothing. When you own them, ongoing, no tax, nothing. When you go to sell them from us, again, no tax. However, gold and silver are treated the same way as other investments. If your intent is to buy something and sell it at a profit down the road, and that's your intention, then you should be paying your capital gains. Again, we don't condone the act of foregoing your capital gains. It's a very sensitive subject. We encourage people to talk to their professionals, their accountants, the people that they trust with their money, and to walk through those things with them. But you're on the honor system. When you're buying gold and silver, you have to report it. So buying, no tax; holding, no tax; but selling, again, through us, no tax, doesn't get reported. You have to report it, and there should be a capital gain that gets put on that. If you own it within your RSP or a registered account, different story. That's a monitored account. CRA is going to do the work for you. We partner with Questrade, so Questrade will do the work for you when you're selling. Or if you want to deregister your account, of course, in a TFSA, there is no capital gains. So everything you put into a TFSA, including physical gold and silver, even though you may hold on to it for years and it may make a ton of money, under a TFSA, there is no capital gain whatsoever. Otherwise, outside of there, should be treated as a typical capital gain would be.
And again, physical gold and silver, Darren, is how you guys roll in that kind of part of the next question is what are the benefits of putting my products in storage?
Oh gosh, safety, security,
Oh,
insurance, liquidity. You can buy and sell by phone. So unless you're building a bunker, filling it full of food and water, what reason could you possibly have to hold 600-700 pounds of silver at your house? I mean, some people do. Lots of clients want it, and gold too. It's much smaller and easily transportable, but at what risk, right?
Yeah.
Market rises. I mean, we're all here at the end of the day to improve our quality of life. Again, maybe gold and silver is an insurance policy, one you hope you don't have to cash in. Maybe just pass it on to the next generation. Maybe gold, something you put in a safety deposit box. But either way, storage is smart. Storage is what all of our large clients do. I don't really have any large clients, let's say, that are holding in excess of 100,000 or more worth of bullion that really choose only to take that bullion home. They all have some in storage. So it makes sense. It's very affordable. It's easy to do. And if it's a registered account, you have to store your product. It is the underlying collateral that proves you're still registered. Right. So in an RSP, TFSA, those things, you definitely have to have that product stored. Storage is a great thing not to be afraid of. You can see your product, hold your product. If you're at distance, you may want to have it in a facility closer to you. We offer that as well. And it is not to be feared at all. Storage is a great thing for your precious metals and keeps them safe.
We've got about a minute here to get this question, selling question in, and we always come back to it if we run out of time. But how do I go about selling my gold and silver and getting the best prices?
Well, best prices are going to be determined by the dealer you're working with. Typically, as I said, we have a simple equation. When it comes to selling, the product A has to be in our hands. Can't sell from a distance unless you have a storage account and the product is in your vault and ready to go. Once we have those two parameters met, then we can offer you spot less 2%. That will be the widest premium we have on LBMA products. So that's RCM product, US Mint, Perth Mint, British Mint, your hallmark products. If it's not a hallmark product and we accept it, those premiums might be a little bit wider, 3, 4, 5% from the spot price. But selling is easy. We're happy to do it. Bring it in. We'll cut you a check, send you a wire transfer, however we can, and get that done for you. Very simple.
Quick break. If you contributed a question to the YouTube channels over the last couple of weeks, you are in the running for that 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint silver bar, which is going to go out the door in the next 8 minutes or so. So stick around, listen for that, and reaching out otherwise, 1-888-335-8645. Get educated. Talk to Darren and his team for sure. And DeltaHarbor.com will continue hard money right here, Sauga 960. All right, welcome back to Hard Money. This is the Ask Us Anything show. This is the show which we've been promoting for the last few weeks by you going to the YouTube channel and subscribing to Delta Harbour Assets. Subscribe there, listen and watch the videos, learn something, and ask a question. Participate to this show while you're doing that. And by the end of the show, you may be in the running, one of 64 people, I guess, who contributed to win a 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint silver bar. So we're going to be giving that away very shortly. But back to the questions from the videos as part of this week's show, Darren. First one is under the shipping category, says, how much is shipping?
Great. How long is a piece of string? What we do is keep it simple. Purchase over $1,000 anywhere in North America, free shipping. If we have some type of, and that's by land. So if it's off land and it's a North American address, Puerto Rico or somewhere else, then of course we have to negotiate shipping. However, anything over $1,000 US and the shipping's on us. Then of course, outside of that, we'll ship the product. 100% trackable, and we'll send it with a noted courier service. So you can rest assured you're getting the best service possible, fully insured, and we use a number of couriers. So it could be anywhere from Loomis, FedEx, Melka, Meat, all kinds of specialty courier services that deal with bullion. And it is insured, and we ship anywhere around the world globally. Unless otherwise we can't get it to your location. We'll get it to a central location where you can pick it up and sign for it. And that answers a bunch of questions about shipping. So keep it nice and simple, John. We'll take any order, any size, but anything over 1,000 is free shipping in North America, land. And if it's beyond that and it's somewhere else in the world, we'll get the best shipping rates we can. And we'll be the first to tell you if we can't get it there affordable.
Good question and good answer. Next question is this. Why would I choose Delta Harbour over another company?
We talk about it often, John. It's one of the things we pride ourselves on. It's the Delta difference. One, we talked about pricing. First off, let's offer you the cheapest, best product. We talk about frequently the notion that with Delta, one of our missions was to take the old adage, which was you can have quality, service, and the best product, but you can't have all three. Well, in our case, we're trying as best as we can to prove that you do get all three. You're going to get them here at Delta. We want to make sure that that's part of the Delta difference. We have our concierge service, which is basically a custom service that every client right now gets. There is no client too small or too big that's not going to get a custom treatment, whereby we will answer any questions you have about product, provide that hands-on experience. I myself, I'm the owner of the company, one of three, and I'm going out today to hand deliver some product curbside to a client. It's not a big order. It's only 12 10-ounce bars of silver, but it means the world to me to be able to communicate with people, get out and see people. We do it as often as possible. What of the other big companies would tell you that they still do that? So, I mean, this is a product, this is a service that we guarantee and that we try to get to every client. So it's the Delta difference. We offer the storage, we offer the direct delivery, we offer the registered accounts, bulk bullion, and we didn't get a chance to get to the financing today, the financing questions, but we offer that as well. Bullion comes in bars and coins, all kinds of options available to you. And really, when it comes down to it, you want the best overall service options and the best experience. I believe Delta is the best place to do it.
All right, get down to our last couple minutes here before our giveaway. And a good question. I knew we want to break this one down. Darren, what are the different ways I can own gold and silver? There you go.
Well, here at Delta, they're all physical, number one, for sure. And as I said in the last one there, we can talk about direct delivery right home to you. We'll bring it to your door or your business. And if we can't, to a central service where you can pick it up from there. Storage accounts, very simple to open and allows you to go and see the product and be part of that process and know your product is yours there with serial numbers and allocated to you. Registered accounts, RSPs, TFSAs, LIRAs. If you're close to retirement, we can do those and put physical product in those accounts as well. Bulk bullion, if you want to just have exposure to physical gold or silver, but don't want to have the bars or coins in your ownership, great option for you. And on that bulk bullion account, we also offer financing of up to 80% of your purchase. So lots of options for buyers out there.
Appreciate all the questions. Again, the reason we've been doing this show on this particular day, the leading weeks up to this show, we've been asking you go to the YouTube channel, Delta Harbour Assets, subscribe to the channel, watch some of the videos. You're going to learn a ton of stuff there as well. Ask a question like the ones we've been reading out all show today. And for doing that, you'll be in the running to score yourself a 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint silver bar. Get your hard assets, get a taste for it, and get that ball rolling as far as that part of your portfolio. So, Darren, I think it's about the time. If we have some any time left over, we'll tell people how they can reach out and ask more questions and get their portfolio happening. But I think it's about time that we took those 64 people and picked a random winner for that 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint bar, brother. So you want to get that happening, we can do that.
All right. Well, remember, we do this on radio and we also shoot this up to our YouTube channel. So bear with me here. We're going to get the visual ready. I'm just going to share screen here and get this option open while we are doing that. John, congratulations to everybody that entered the contest.
You bet.
There can only be one winner, and obviously we're about to see who that winner is going to be. And obviously we want to thank everybody for participating. And really, when it comes down to it, we want to encourage people to do this all the time. If you're here and you're able to ask questions on our YouTube channel, we'll always try to answer them. If you want to go to our website, ask a random question or give us a call to put it on the show, we're happy to do that as well. Hopefully there, our Zoom conversation, you can now see those two things right there. Okay,
yeah, we're doing
can I get confirmation from you, John? You can see those okay?
I could see them both. Just ready to pick that one of 64 people who contributed for that 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint silver bar.
All right, let's go over to the random number generator, put in 64 possible solutions, options, and let's hit generate. The drum roll, please, and away we go. Number 17 is the winner. Okay,
and who would that
let's
be?
See.
All right.
Okay, number 17 here on the screen is Ron Cameron. Congratulations,
nice,
Ron. You are the proud owner of a new 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint silver bar. We'll be getting in touch with you soon. We want to thank you very much, Ron, for participating in this contest. And to the rest of you that didn't win, there'll always be another chance, another opportunity for you to get involved. No obligation ever. And if you want more details, of course, contact us at Delta Harbor. We'd be happy to help you out anytime. John, I'm just going to come back to our main screen here now and stop this sharing. And,
nicely done, Ron. Appreciate the contribution. And I think, it's important, as you mentioned, Darren, as well, that, over the next couple of weeks or any week for that matter, when you're on the website, deltaharbor.com, Harbor with a U, by the way, feel free to ask questions on the YouTube videos to the guys at the firm. And we're going to start doing this more regularly, taking regular questions in, I guess, kind of real time about people ask them about the show during the show, because people have questions about this investment and how long it takes. So nicely done again, Ron. That's a really cool thing, man. I really enjoyed this over the last couple of weeks, Darren, getting these questions together. And hey, a 10-ounce bar, nothing to sneeze at, man. Royal Canadian Mint Silver, that's a beauty.
It's over $400.
Yeah, right.
Beautiful.
Not
Absolutely.
bad. Yeah,
Absolutely.
not bad. So there you go. Just recapping again over the last couple of weeks, if you contributed to the YouTube channel, Delta Harbour Assets, that is what you want to search, right? Hit subscribe. Do it now, because chances are we'll do something like this again for sure. Watch the videos and learn outside of this radio show and calling the guys at the firm anytime to get a portfolio started. Expand your portfolio, this with hard assets of gold and silver and other precious metals. And you want to do that, do it now and start now. And we'll be doing more of these in the weeks and months to come for sure. Darren, good job today doing all that stuff. You did a run through and it worked. It's amazing, the power of the internet. But there you go. We'll wrap it for another week, guys. You want to reach out to Darren, Rob, Roy, the rest of the team, do so. Get that conversation happening if you've never gone into these waters before. DeltaHarbor.com. That's Delta Harbor with a U, because this investment is all about you. And the phone number, 1-888-335-8645. This is Hard Money right here on Sauga 960.